In this video we're going to use a couple of tips, actually 3 simple tips that you can do in camera to remove fences and other obstructions without the need for software such as Photoshop. I'm not a fan of spending a lot of time on the computer, and if you are not either, stick around and stay to the end for a couple of bonus tips. So here are those first 2 photographs we saw at the intro. The first one, you can clearly see the wire fence, and the second one I made some adjustments in my position and aperture, which I'm going to explain in the video, and you'll see the outcome. Now, unlike the first example where we were at the beach, this one is at the zoo, which I'm sure many of you will find fences or glass in front of the subject. Here we have an aviary. This actually is particularly challenging because we have 2 sets of fences. We have horizontal bars and vertical wire mesh. So the first tip would be to use a wide aperture. In this particular example I use f5.6. You can use f4, either one, but I wouldn't go any lower than that at a stretch. f8, but you're going to see some shadows from the fence. As we can see from this before and after example, you can see in the photograph the fence has disappeared, as if it was never there. But what about when you're not at the zoo? Well, even in, we call relatively wild, this is a local wetlands where fences are put up to protect the wildlife. We can see here fence clearly visible, a cormorant in the distance. I'd like to get a photograph of that cormorant. I used a long lens, which is the second tip, and then used aperture 5.6, positioned myself a couple of times, got closer and closer until I felt that I had the right distance from my lens to the fence. And we can see from the before and after. In the before picture, the fence is clearly visible, and then after, the fence has almost disappeared. I wasn't probably quite close enough because there's still a bit of a shadow from the fence, but this is an example we have to play around with aperture and distance. The third tip, simply get close, or as close as you can. That will help greatly. So you can see from these examples, the fence has now disappeared. All right, we're going to wrap this up. So the 3 tips: large aperture, f4, 5.6, even shallower than that if you can. A long lens is very helpful, and you need to get close as you can, but there's a little bit of experimentation there. And so a couple of bonus tips. Find a shady spot if you can, that will be easier, and then if you are comfortable, use manual focus, that will also help. Alright, thanks for watching.